It's July 5, 2022. My name is Jimmy Van, and it's time to know your news tonight. My guest enjoyed dropping stone cold stunners in school, and he loves it when things are coming up cupcakes and hand jobs for him. He's the head of boxing, MMA, and wrestling for talkSPORT.com. His name is Alex McCarthy. Alex, how are you?
I'm good. I'm now scared that you've looked back on my Twitter, clearly. Any skeletons that are in my closet, I'm now afraid of. But no, man, thank you for the invite. Looking forward to it.
Pleasure to talk to you. I was joking with Alex before we started this thing. I can't wait to get the opinion of a nice British guy to these stories that are really real and really stupid. So this is going to be cool. And I did my research for the intro. So you got me on that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you say nice British guys if like dumb stuff doesn't happen here. I mean, listen, we are no better off, I promise you.
Awesome. Well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk the KYN 7 of the top news stories of the week that are funny, stupid, and weird. I'm going to get your reaction, and I'm going to ask you questions along the way. And for our viewers and listeners, if you want to get your question statement read on a future edition of any podcast on the KYN network, go to kynchat.com, leave a contribution of any size, and your question statement will be read on the next edition of the podcast of your choice. All right, Alex McCarthy, can't wait to get some reactions from you, bud. Story number 7, reported by ABC 7 New York. So a truck caught fire on the interstate in Bridgewater, New Jersey on a Sunday night. And it caused a huge traffic jam. Drivers were stuck for hours behind the accident. And I'm sure that normally this isn't a big story in the New York, New Jersey area. I mean, traffic, New York, it's probably usually not a big story. This particular one was a big story. Alex McCarthy, why did this one make the news?
So why was it? It was on fire, right?
Yeah, there was a fire. That's right. Truck caught fire.
Okay. Is this some vindictive fire, Jimmy? Is there something sinister afoot?
Possible, but in this case, the truck was carrying thousands of pounds of fireworks that went off, creating an impromptu show. Joel, do you got the video? Look at this. This is the truck that caught fire on the interstate. And I'm going to guess that if there's a truck that you don't want to catch fire, it's probably one that's carrying a shit ton of fireworks, unless you're into that kind of thing. And so this is what happened. The next morning, the remains of the truck were still there. 2 lanes of the interstate had to be closed for the cleanup of this thing. Look at that. People are just, look at this. Just getting an impromptu fireworks show. And so Alex McCarthy, do you have any memorable stories about an incident or an accident that happened on the road?
I thought you was going to say fireworks then. I was going to be like,
well,
on the
they're next, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, that wouldn't be the worst traffic to be stuck in for a brief period of time, would it? That would be entertaining until you said it took like 2 days to clear. Then not so much. Stories on the road, man. You know what? I've always been quite. Is lucky the right word? I haven't been in in any really bad situations, but I do remember once. So we don't get snow that much in the UK. Okay, we get it maybe once every couple of years. Properly, I mean.
Once every couple of years, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We get it sometimes. You know how Michael Cole's hair used to be all frost tipped. We get that. We get that occasionally.
A dusting.
Yeah, there you go. But when it comes down properly, like a couple of feet. And I was coming back from university once, and an hour drive took 7 hours. When I was 20, this is just stuck in the car with my mum. Nothing to say, Jimmy. There is only so much you can say to your mum in 7 hours of crawling traffic. So, I would have much preferred the fireworks, to be honest. But there you go.
It's like, what are we having for dinner? How's aunt? How's uncle? Yeah. What are we having for dinner?
Why did you and dad break up? Like, how what are you going to do?
Now, I got to say, the first thing you said when I asked if there's been an incident on the road, you said, well, I've probably been lucky. Lucky in what sense? What did you not get caught for?
No, well, not that. I mean, I just mean I haven't been in any like bad incidents, or nobody's, done anything to me, Jimmy, whilst driving, right?
Good to know. Good to know. I was going to say, we got video proof otherwise right here. Confession. Let's go on to story number 6, reported by WJBF ABC News 6. These are so ridiculous, but totally true. So a man and woman, they went into a CVS drugstore in Augusta, Georgia, and they stole merchandise. And security footage shows the woman. She's walking down the aisle. She's grabbing stuff off the shelves. They believe the man was also stealing, but they didn't catch him on camera. My question for you, Alex, how was the woman able to get the stolen items out of the store undetected?
Oh my God, it's got to be in her body. She had to have stuffed it in her orifice, Jimmy. That's what I'm going with. Show me the money. What have we got?
She stuffed them under her boobs. Joel, do we got pictures of the suspects? There's the suspects right there. And that lady stole the shit. She stuffed the shit under her boobs. That's what she did. The couple got away, and the sheriff's office in Richmond County, Georgia, they released this surveillance photo because they're asking the public's help in trying to locate them. They haven't gotten them yet. She could still be walking down the sidewalk with the shit under her boobs, Alex. She might be.
I mean, you'd have to be a brave man to say, ma'am, show me what's under them boobs. Show me now.
Have you ever seen the movies where like the guy's going into prison and then they make him like lift up his balls and stuff? You know, they strip him naked. With her, it'd be like, all right, lift up the boobs, and then just like $3,000 worth of shit just comes flying out. So
what did she have under them? Did we establish that?
No, they never specified. They just said that she stole merchandise.
How vague.
Wow. Yep. I got to say, she was very creative. And so here's a question for you. Have you ever seen or heard about a crime where the suspect was so creative that you almost had to stand back and applaud him for what he did?
No, I've had the opposite where so there's you won't have it in America. Sainsbury's is like a market, supermarket in the UK. And there's one in my town. There's an ATM or a cash point. The vernacular between us is so difficult. In the wall. And what they did, they got like this big magnet, essentially, and they had it attached to their van. They pulled the ATM out of the wall, right? So they just said, we're not going to stay here and try and jack it. We're taking it. And then they dragged it for however long, right? And nobody could find them.
Really?
Yeah, really. But then I think it was 3 days later, the ATM was found in like 3 or 4 counties away, which is very small states, basically. And they couldn't open it. So all of that, and they didn't even get any money out of it. They just went, oh, you know what? I'll give up.
We're just going to leave it here.
Yeah, so I did think originally when they took it, I thought, that's pretty smart. And then when they had no money, not so much, not so smart.
Wow. I remember a movie where like there was a laptop and evidence at the jail. And so they did the same thing. They had a van with a magnet because they wanted to screw up the laptop and like wipe it of data. So they put it next to the wall, turned it on, and then it like wiped the laptop. What the hell movie was that? I can't remember, but that's the first thing I thought of when you said that. So this happened in real life.
Yes, this was real. Yeah, it was a big thing in my little town.
Interesting. Interesting.
Not so many boobs in that story, but ingenuity nonetheless.
I mean, they didn't get it open, so maybe they were all boobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there it is. There it is.
Awesome. Let's go to story number 5. When I was a kid, the Guinness Book of World Records, it was kind of a big deal. I remember getting the book when I was a kid. I remember I wanted to know who like the tallest man in the world was, all of that. It looks like it's been making a comeback, and I'm not talking about Natalia having it on WWE television. It legitimately looks like it's been making a comeback, and they will seemingly award a record for anything. So there's a man from Oregon. His name is Jacob Chandler, and he wanted to set a Guinness World Record, and he decided on one that had to do with food. Alex McCarthy, nice open-ended question. Any idea what the record was that he broke?
I'm going to assume it's not something as simple as eating. So I'm going to imagine he's doing something else terrible / creative with the food. I don't know. Is there a theme today? Is he sticking some cake under his balls, Jimmy? I don't know. What is he doing?
How do you turn that into a record? How do you do that?
Someone's got to have it. I don't know. Pounds. I don't know.
He broke the record for alphabetizing the letters from a can of alphabet soup as fast as he could. And we got a video of it. Joel, put up that video. This is from the Guinness Book of World Records. Look at this. So he's got to put the alphabet soup onto a plate. He's got a piece of paper with the alphabet on it, and then he's got to find them and put the thing on there and get all 26 letters in the fastest time possible. And this is actually a world record that someone did for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. Jacob did multiple practice runs before the big day. His record winning time was 2 minutes, 8.6 seconds. And for that record, congratulations, Jacob Chandler, because you earned a whopping $0 because Giz does not give out cash prizes. They don't do that. And so I don't know. I guess he's going to get to have his name in the annual book or something. I don't know. So big question.
Is this a hot market? Like, did he have to fend off a lot of what's even the word that for
alphabetizing alphabet soup?
These alphabetizers, right? is this like, do you know what I mean? Did he crack the top 10? Did he work his way up?
There was an existing record that he broke. There was.
Imagine what he could have done if he had applied himself to anything else. Just imagine.
Yes, exactly. Nice. Like he could work for like a wrestling news website or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Could have done so much other stuff. Well, this leads me to the big question. Alex McCarthy, is there anything that you are so good at that you are confident that you could set a Guinness World Record for it?
Man, I'm old and fat now. Do you know, I don't really think I do have any skills like that, boringly enough.
Is there like a food you really like that you down a food, real quick because you like it so much?
I'm a really fast eater, full stop. My missus has a go at me about it all the time. If there's company, I get knee jabs. Stop it.
But we just stumbled onto something right there. So what is a food that you can down quick? Like it's down the hatch like nothing.
Any food.
Any food.
Yeah, anything I can pack away. Like pizza, I fold that shit, bang. Thank you very much. I think yesterday I had so I'd been working out and I was like, you know what? Actually, I just want something dirty. And I had doner meat and chips. Is that a thing you do in America?
I'm in Canada. What is it again?
Oh, doner meat and chips. Like a kebab.
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay. So it's like the meat from a kebab, but you have it with chips.
Okay.
It's terrible for you, Jimmy. So don't get started on it. I hope I don't turn you onto it. But yeah, again, same thing, like 2 minutes flat. Thank you. Out the door. I feel gross, but that's who I am.
Okay. I am going to start a campaign. And I'm going to utilize the Twitter following of Sean Rossap from Fightful.com. And we are going to get the Guinness Book of World Records to tell us, what do you have that's remotely close to these things that Alex McCarthy is good at packing away? We're going to get a record that you can break, Alex. We're going to do it.
I will do it. I will do it. I have faith in myself. You've made me have faith in myself in something I didn't even want 2 minutes ago.
Amazing. And you're going to win no money, but they'll give you like a nice certificate that they probably print in their office,
Yeah,
so you'll get that.
Probably going to shave some years off my life in the process. It's fine, though. It's fine.
All right. I'm taking this clip. I'm isolating this clip. And this is going to be a goal for the rest of 2022. We're going to do it. Let's go on to story number 4, reported by KRDO News. So there's a 33-year-old man of Teller County, Colorado. His name is Jeremiah Taylor. And Mr. Taylor is accused of stealing a patrol car from the local sheriff's office. But that's not the story here. The story here is about what he did after he stole the police car. Alex McCarthy, what did Mr. Taylor do after he stole the police car?
Did he rush his wife somewhere? Did he have to, is there an errand that, not an errand, but was there an emergency and he said, you know what? I need the cop car.
You're actually pretty close. So he decided to listen to the police radio and he heard a domestic violence incident and he decided to respond to it. We have his mugshot, Joel. Let's see this guy's mugshot. There's Jeremiah Taylor right there. So a call came over the radio for a domestic violence incident. He decided to respond to it in the car like he was a police officer. When other deputies arrived on the scene, they saw him in the patrol car and they ordered him to get out. So he took off. Eventually, he crashed the car and he fled on foot. Deputies caught up to him, so he pulled out a knife, and they had to taser him before arresting him. And now he faces just a shit ton of felony charges. And he's going to go away for a while. Okay, Alex McCarthy, have you ever been inside a police car?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Guys, it's been a while. So I got into a couple of bits of trouble when I was younger for scrapping on nights out. And yeah, you will find yourself in a cop car pretty quick. Like I can't actually remember the entire thing, but there was like a group fight, right? Like it all kicked off in a bar.
Gang wars.
Yeah. But it was one of them where like I don't think I was even really heavily involved in that particular one, but the police just scooped us all up. And then we woke up the next day. We'd gone out for my friend's birthday. He woke up in the cell on his birthday. So that was cool. When we finally got let out, it was like, we should probably go grab some lunch. But no, other than that, I think I was 21 the last time I was in the back of a cop car. So a while ago.
I love how you say that. Like this was like a semi-common occurrence. I think the last time I did it, I was 21.
Well, there was a couple in my late teenage years, but nothing too sinister.
The things that I learn doing this podcast from my guests is amazing. Good for you, Alex McCarthy. Let's go on to story number 3, reported by Vice.com. I think we've all heard stories about social media influencers doing stupid shit for the sake of follows and likes. You've got a social media presence. You know what I'm talking about. Now, in Pakistan, they're having issues with some local influencers that are doing something really absurd in an effort to get eye-catching backdrops in their videos. Alex McCarthy, what are people doing in Pakistan to get these eye-catching backdrops?
You know what? I'm going to keep it with the theme of this show thus far. Are they setting shit on fire, Jimmy?
They're starting forest fires.
They are!
Joe, put up the first video. This girl's name is Nosheen Syed. She's known as Dolly on TikTok. She faces charges for allegedly setting a forest fire while shooting that video in Pakistan's capital city of Islamabad. And we got another one. Put up the other one, Joel. These two men are seen appearing to start a forest fire in a video, and they had music playing in the background while they were doing it. So they're basically destroying wildlife in order to get a few follows, views, and likes, because that's the world we're living in. Okay.
Jimmy, you're so diplomatic. You went, allegedly, and they appear to. They fucking did. Look at that. What are they doing?
Alex, I'm doing this thing on a shoestring budget. I don't want any lawsuits. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure. I retract what I said.
The word allegedly, you can get away with a lot of shit with the word allegedly.
Yes.
So I'm sticking with that. But I got to ask you, you've got an online presence. You've seen some silly shit in your day when you're not in the back of a cop car. What is the stupidest shit that you can recall someone doing, all in the name of likes, follows, or subscribers?
Oh man, I've seen some stuff. Like when I was at WrestleMania this year, I saw some people outside the stadium twerking, right? Mm-hmm. Like just standing there, like, which is a weird thing anyway, where you're like, you just take this video, please? Sure. And then they proceed to just shake their ass around. It's like, okay, it's a bit weird. I think that's probably the weirdest I've seen in the flesh, like around the stadium, people just doing some wild stuff. I don't think anyone set fire to anything. Wildlife, certainly not. But yeah, I think that's really, really cringy stuff. I even feel bad when I take a photo, right? Just a generic one where I'm like, posing in a photo where I am or whatever, and I always feel, oh god, that's a bit lame. But and there are lamer people than that, Jimmy. So that gives me solace.
I used to watch some of those animal rescue videos on YouTube, where like, hey, here's the mother duck over there, and there's the baby duck over there, and this kind human being is going to return the baby duck, until I learned that most of the time, those jackasses are stealing the baby first, then starting the video that shows them looking like the hero bringing it back. And ever since I learned that, I'm like, you bastards, you cold-hearted bastards,
Yeah. I've heard a couple of them stories before. I think there was another one where a woman said that her son was getting bullied. It was either that or they were really poor. And then like loads of people reached out to them, and then there was like a fundraiser, but then you later learn out she asked him to do the video. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't an organic thing, and they're not really poor. And you think,
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Come
We
on.
live in a world of fake news, and I'm going to keep using the word allegedly because that
Yes,
works out.
please do.
That works out for me. All right, story number 2. I got one from the UK. This is so good. Reported by the Brighton and Hove News.
Oh,
So
Christ.
this would be amazing if you're like, holy shit, I live in Brighton. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a man out of Brighton in the UK. His name is Chris Merritt, and he has a pet macaw named Charlie. And Charlie was hanging out in the garden, and he got frightened by a bunch of seagulls. So Charlie took off, and Chris posted on Facebook, he's looking for help to try to find his macaw. And somebody spotted Charlie up in a tree. And so Chris rushed over, and he climbed up the tree to save Charlie. Alex McCarthy, what happened next?
Ooh. I wish I'd taken notice of this story. It sounds like something my missus would have seen. He was attacked by, God, I don't know, a flock of seagulls. That sounds plausible in Brighton.
Chris got stuck too. Also needed to be rescued. So he ended up calling emergency, which I understand is 999. Joel,
Correct.
we got a video. Put the video up because, of course, Chris took a video.
Yeah,
right?
In his distress. Yeah.
And we got some audio of it. Go ahead, Joel.
Charlie, you little yeah. Honestly, you're quite far away from me, but I am 40 foot off of the floor in trees taller than houses, and now the fire engines are here. Oh, how joyous.
Now, the good news is owner and pet, they're back home and they're safe. So all is well. Alex, do you have any pets, or have you ever had pets?
Yeah, I'm a dog guy, big dog guy. I don't have one right now. My Staffordshire Bull Terrier passed away a couple of years ago. It was 15 though, great run. And we're in the process. Like my missus is really nagging me to get another one, which we probably will. But my heart, Jimmy. So yeah, I don't know. I love animals, full stop. But I've only really had dogs, not since I was a kid. Remember, like your mum would bring. Again, this might be a UK thing. Bring home goldfish from the fair, right?
Sure.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
and they'd be dead in a week, but we kept getting them for some reason. But other than that, I've never had like hamsters or anything like that.
they live for a week and then down the toilet they go, right?
Yeah, well, apparently so. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah. So what is the most that you have ever done for an animal? This guy climbed a tree to save his macaw. What's the most you've ever done for an animal?
Oh God. I mean, my staff was never really in too many sticky situations. Do you know the only thing with a staff is that they have I don't know if you can picture this dog that I'm talking about, Jimmy, but they have what they call is like a locked jaw, right? So once they bite, right? You're not. It's not a you're not getting weaseling your way out of that one. So the only time that there were a few confrontations that this podcast is making me out to be some violent guy. I'm not, but when the staff is a temperamental dog, loves people, doesn't really love other dogs. So when you're out on walks a lot and then they get into it with other dogs, there was some. I had to tell you not to tell. I had to straighten out some things, Jimmy. All right, I had to keep my dog safe. That's all I'll say.
Interesting. So you were laying down the law, throwing haymakers at your dog.
My dog was pretty much 99% of the time allegedly in the wrong.
Allegedly.
I had to back him.
Amazing. Awesome. Once again, the things I learned on this podcast. All right. It's time for story number 1, reported by the New York Post. I wish I had 5 more because you've been a lot of fun, but I'm down to story number 1, reported by the New York Post. So there's a woman who owns a bridal shop in Chicago. Her name is Cassia, and she got a call from a groom saying that his bride had bought a dress there and had picked it up, and now he needed to reorder it. Alex McCarthy, why did the groom want to reorder his bride's wedding dress?
The size?
Not a bad guess. They accidentally buried the grandmother in the other one. We've got a video from TikTok, from Cassia's TikTok. Joel, put that up.
So the brother continues to explain to me that basically the bride's dress was hung up in mom's closet. Mom was keeping it for safekeeping. And when all this happened, mom frantically just called the brother and said, hey, can you and so-and-so, which is the groom, can you go and get grandma's dress out of my closet. And so the boys did just that. Being guys, they didn't know better. They didn't know there was multiple wedding dresses in the closet. Honestly, I wouldn't have known, but I would have looked and I would have noticed that it's a different dress. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. This is what happened, right?
So basically, the original dress that the bride bought, she asked her mom to store it in her mom's closet. The mom's mom, which is the bride's grandmother, passed away, and the grandmother had wished to be buried in her wedding dress. So the mom said to the groom and to the groom's future brother-in-law, do me a favor, go into my closet and grab grandma's wedding dress so we can bury her in it. And you know what happened? They grabbed the bride's wedding dress by mistake. And so now the bride's wedding dress was 6 feet under. And so they ain't getting it back. And Cassia said that she is trying to get the manufacturer to make a new one on time if they can. That video, part one of that video, has done almost 6 million views. And so, Alex McCarthy, have you ever been witness to, or maybe you've been a victim of, something related to a wedding that went horribly wrong?
I was best man last year. And I remember, so we wrote the speech. I can't go too deep into this, but we.
Oh God! Okay, I can already say this. So you ended up in the back of a police car. Then somebody's dog was biting another.
Yeah. Nah, it was just one of them. Like, we did the dry run, and we both thought it was hilarious. Me and the other best man, we thought it was golden work. We did like a dry run for some of the bridesmaids and his partner, and they were literally like, there was like 4 jokes. They were like, they can't be in there. So we had to kind of restructure the thing. It went okay, Jimmy. I still feel like those jokes. I feel, yeah, come on now, lighten up. But let me just say, on this story, I'm kind of on the man's side. I mean, that I could make that mistake.
I think any of us could.
That's a plausible mistake to make. I mean, why? I would put the onus on them. Why are you putting them next to each other, or in the closet, or could have been avoided.
The only thing that I question, okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume that Granny was at least in her 60s, right? Probably at least in her 60s. So if she was married, say in her 20s, and back then, I mean, she could have been 17 back then. So you think maybe the dress looked a little aged, maybe. And you think maybe when the guys took it, they'd be like, holy shit, this still looks brand new. You know what I mean?
I mean, she probably only wore it once, Jimmy.
True. True.
Could have been preserved. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't see. I'm not up to speed on like the material and how it ages over the decade. You know what I mean?
He might have picked up and he was like, rustic. I don't know. Like, vintage. It might be
vintage.
Might be all the rage now. Yeah.
Yeah. Vintage. All right. Well, I want to thank our guest, Alex McCarthy. Alex, tell the people, what are you up to and where can they find you?
So obviously, still with talkSPORT, and we have Talk Wrestling podcast every single week. We had Miro this week as our special guest. We had Chris Jericho last week as our special guest. So make sure you check that out wherever you get your podcasts. And you can find me on Inside the Ropes. So a lot of my interviews, the video goes up there on their YouTube channel. And I have a show every Monday Night Live with SB3 and Satini Angi, where we have guests and we chop up the week in wrestling news. So if you want to find me, there's where you can find me.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for KYN tonight. I had a great time with our violent British gentleman, Alex McCarthy. Thank you, sir. Let's do this again sometime. This is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'd love to.